Hey guys, welcome back to Stuff and Things for your daily dose of nerd news. On today's episode, we take a look at the most valuable precipitation in the solar system, a petting zoo you can go to in France, and some evidence of water from a nearby solar system. So first up for today, it seems like the only way to get people excited about any sort of space-related studies is you gotta mention something valuable. I mean, you gotta mention these asteroids made of gold, or, hey, even better, diamonds. Well, scientists have concluded that it actually rains diamonds in the atmospheres of Saturn and Jupiter. And sure, no scientist was there holding his hands out waiting for the diamonds to come because, well, you know anything about gas giants, that's really crazy. We have chemistry to thank for the analysis. Basically, scientists took into account new data they have on the pressures and temperatures of the actual gas giants themselves, and using that information, they figured out a kind of a timeline of how things went in the atmosphere. Basically, the massive thunderstorms that do develop in these gas giants, as you know, massive, huge storms that just boggle the mind. Lightning from those storms will convert some of the methane in the atmosphere into just a soot. Of course, then that soot falls deeper into the atmosphere where it turns into graphite. And then from there it turns into diamonds, and these diamonds could be up to 1 centimeter across. Now this is where you go to speculation, just we have no idea at all. Because once it gets to a certain depth, about 30,000 kilometers or so, it's just going so deep the pressure itself would be insane. There's a possibility you could just have a liquid sea of carbon just sitting there. But of course these diamonds, like all diamonds, are actually kind of useless. So really this story's pointless. Moving along, like I said earlier, probably the kind of the weirdest thing anyone's ever called a petting zoo. At the FRAC Center in Orléans, France, you can go to there and pet this tentacle thing. It's got 3 arms, they pulse, and they have sonic stuff, and they have weird colors. And they have motion tracking capabilities. They actually use to connect in a specific dedicated software called Process that allows it to adjust to your position and your gestures. It actually tries to figure out who the person is that's trying to touch it. They hang from the ceiling and they move around, and I guess it's kind of an interesting application of using the motion tracking stuff of getting the recognition software that the Kinect is known for, even though it doesn't work that well. Hopefully you'll be able to stand right distance away or it'll just won't work for you. Also, I'm sure with some modifications, this thing will be huge in Japan. And finally for today, scientists have actually got real evidence that there's water on an exoplanet. Or at least there used to be water, because the planet doesn't really exist anymore. UK scientists look at oxygen readings from a remnants of shattered remains that orbits the star GD61, which is a white dwarf, but 200 million years ago, it was a star larger than our sun. It went through the natural phases of just Hare curing itself and then throwing everything out there. The shattered remains of this planet were pulled into a closer orbit to the star, and through the use of some Hubble stuff and everything else, we were able to find some trace elements of oxygen, which, going by the various techniques scientists have available to them, spectral readings and such, they concluded that within this rocky core there is locked some water, which means prior to the solar system getting annihilated by its parent star, there could have actually been a real planet there that had water that could have possibly supported some form of life. Now, we've mentioned stories like this in the past where we found some evidence for something, or we just talk about these extrapolations of star systems that are light years away. Doesn't really do us much good now, but this is all just part of the cataloging process that we started a little bit ago, but really just getting into figuring out exactly where we need to go, when we actually are able to head out there. Because who knows, maybe we could head the stars pretty soon. There's a lot of variables to take into account for it. But hopefully, by looking at the remains of this now defunct solar system, we'll be able to just get a better idea of where we need to go when we can eventually get there, if that makes any sense at all. So guys, that's all for us today, but I'd really love to know from you about the whole petting zoo thing. Would you want to touch a tentacle robot that's going to respond to you, but it's a robot, but it's got that mimicry of intelligence, so it knows you? Oof. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of that whole thing. And of course, if you like what you see, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons wherever they happen to be, and we'll check you in the next video.